Hello and welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for all Pennsylvania students, sponsored by the Pennsylvania Association for College Admission Counseling and StriveScan. PACAC is a nonprofit association comprised of more than 1,200 school counselors, college admission counselors, independent education consultants, and other professionals responsible for guiding students through the important transition from high school to post-secondary options. Thank you for joining us. A few housekeeping items before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at pacac.org. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at the same website, pacac.org. I'd now like to turn it over to our presenter, to Doug.
All right, thanks so much, everyone. Thanks for joining me this evening or this morning or this afternoon, wherever you're tuning in from. I do appreciate you joining me today. My name is Doug Harrington. I am one of the admissions counselors here for Binghamton University, State University of New York. This is my fourth year in admissions. I am going on my fourth cycle now, my third year recruiting Pennsylvania specifically. And I'm also a Binghamton alum. I did graduate in 2016 and 2017 with both my bachelor's and master's respectively. So a little bit about Binghamton. Like I said, we are part of the State University of New York system. I would certainly love to showcase this first slide that we have here. That is our campus. We do have about a 1,000-acre campus that does sit right up here in the valley of the Southern Tier in upstate New York. I say 1,000 acres, but it certainly does not feel as big as it is. So, and I'll talk a little bit about that and how campus certainly is laid out amazing. So with that, this first video that we have here will showcase just a little bit of an aerial tour that we have here at Binghamton. So that was a little bit about our campus here at Binghamton. So we are part, like I said, of the State University of New York system, or the SUNY system, if you've heard of it. We are one of 64 different schools, a part of the SUNY system. And out of all 64, we are ranked #1. We are the #1 public institution here at Binghamton. So I certainly love to highlight that. And absolutely, you saw our beautiful campus there, like I said, about 1,000-acre campus. It is a true campus atmosphere. It's not like you're walking around a city and all of a sudden you're on a college campus. No, this is a real college atmosphere. You go through a big main entrance, and it is certainly one of my favorite aspects of the university. So with our presentation, I want you to think about, maybe, where do you see yourself, after college? Maybe you see yourself working in the environment, working on the sustainability here at Binghamton, featuring our nature reserve or environmental sciences majors that we have here. Maybe it's you're focusing on the social awareness and the social justice that is happening around the country today. With everything that's going on, we are incredibly aware, and we support our students in every single way that we possibly can. Maybe you want to focus yourself on that and making sure that every voice is heard throughout the country here at you can do that here at Binghamton. Or maybe you want to get back involved in the health fields and help out as much as you possibly can with what is going on here in this country and around the world. With the COVID situation, you want to get back out there. You want to help out your fellow healthcare workers as much as you possibly can. Or maybe you have a hobby and you want to start your own business. Any of those options are certainly possible here at Binghamton. There's a plethora of opportunities here to kind of explore and to kind of figure out exactly how you fit in and exactly where you want to go here. So I want you to think about that throughout the presentation. So exactly where we are here at Binghamton, you can see that we're very centralized to a lot of metro areas in the Northeast. You can see that New York's 3 hours, Philly's 3 hours. We have Boston, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh. They're about 5 hours away. And we have smaller cities like Syracuse, Scranton, Ithaca. They're only about an hour away, which certainly helps out a lot in regards to, not only things to do on the weekends, but in terms of when it comes time to full-time jobs and recruiting and everything like that. Since we're so centralized to all of these areas, we have over 1,800 companies that do come and recruit to Binghamton on an annual basis. There's certainly plenty of opportunities for those companies to especially seek out the next wave of Binghamton students. So I certainly love to point out our location. That is certainly great to be very centralized to all of these great metro areas, especially in New York and Philadelphia. So we are a nice mid-sized institution here at Binghamton. We're not a super big 50,000 student school, but we're also not a super small 1,200 student liberal arts college either. We're a nice mid-sized institution here with about 13,800 undergraduate students. Couple that with about 4,000 graduate students. So we've got about 18,000 students here in total. So a nice, what we'd like to hear, and I'm sure you've heard it before, a nice Goldilocks institution here at Binghamton. Not too big, but also not too small either. And again, the way the campus is laid out, it never feels as big as it is, which I'll get to in a little bit. Of course, I certainly love to point out our 92% first-year retention rate is actually one of the highest rates in the entire country. So students who do come to Binghamton, they do love it so much that they want to stay and they want to continue their education here. So it is actually one of the highest rates in the entire country. And I think very impressive for the size of institution that we do have that high of a retention rate. And of course, our transfer student rate as well. We're about 1/3 transfer students here, so we're a very transfer-friendly institution. And definitely our transfer students love it here as well. As you can see there, it's about 88% of a transfer student retention rate. So students definitely seek to come to Binghamton, and then once they're here, they certainly love it so much that they do continue on to graduate here from Binghamton as well. With our 4-year retention rate, our 4-year graduation rate being a 71%. Which may not sound like a lot, but if you compare that to the national average of 39%. So we're very, very good about getting our students out on time in 4 years. So here at Binghamton, we are broken up into 6 different schools of study with over 130 different majors and programs. I'll first start with our Harper College of Arts and Sciences. It's our largest school here. It houses about 120 of our 130 majors and about 80% of our student body. All of your physical sciences, your social sciences, maths, languages, fine arts, all of that fun stuff is going to be housed within our Harper College of Arts and Sciences. If you're not sure exactly what to do, you want to come in as undecided, that's totally okay. You certainly can do that. I like to call it fun decided because you do get to have a little bit of flexibility in kind of determining what you want to do moving forward. So certainly lots of options within the Harper College. We were founded as Harper College back in 1946. So we do have a very long-standing history of being Harper College. And of course, if you're in any one of our other schools that you see listed here, there's certainly going to be lots of opportunities available to you for within the Harper College as well. All of our students do take classes within the Harper College, whether it be some of their general education requirements, prerequisites. A lot of classes are going to be found within the Harper College of Arts and Sciences. Next, we have our College Community and Public Affairs, or CCPA, as we like to call it. And within CCPA, we do have two different majors. We do have our brand new Bachelor's of Social Work program, as well as our Human Development major. And what human development is here at Binghamton, we like to break up psychology into two separate programs. We have psychology, which is more of a research-based analytical psychology, but then we have human development, which is more of the social side of psychology, more focused on the interaction of people. Social work used to fall under that. Public administration, student affairs, those types of things can be found within our human development major. In the top right-hand corner, you can see our Decker College of Nursing and Health Sciences. This is a fantastic direct entry nursing program that we have on our college, or at our school. So you're immediately considered a nurse as soon as you step foot on our campus. So first 2 years, you're going to be more focused on your prerequisites, your general education requirements. And then during your junior year is when you're going to hit a lot of your core nursing classes pretty hard. Your labs, your clinicals, your simulations, all that will kick up. You go, you graduate, you take the NCLEX, and we do have about 100% job placement rate for our nursing students. So really fantastic program that we have here. If you look in the background, it kind of looks like they're in some sort of warehouse. That is because we are actually almost finished on building our brand new health sciences campus. Our health sciences campus is located in Johnson City, which is about 5 minutes away from our main campus. And our School of Pharmacy, which I'll touch on in just a second, moved over there last year. And our Decker College of Nursing and Health Sciences is going to be moving over there in January. So we're super excited for that to happen. So by the time you come to Binghamton and hit those labs and stuff like that, you're going to have the newest labs, facilities, and equipment available to you for your nursing classes. In the bottom left-hand corner, you can see our School of Management, or SOM. As I said, I'm a Binghamton alum. I did graduate with my bachelor's and master's in 2016 and 2017 in business administration. So I was a School of Management student. So we have two majors within the School of Management. We have business administration and we have accounting. And then under business administration, we have these different concentrations like marketing, finance, management information systems, these types of things. I like to refer to it as an umbrella program because regardless of what program that you're in, you're going to be taking the same classes. You're going to take at least 2 accounting classes. You're going to take your introduction to marketing, introduction to finance. And then during your senior year is when you really dive into your specific concentration through the different electives that you get to take. Really fantastic program. We are one of the top 10 public business schools in the country. And in terms of accounting, we are actually the #1 feeder into the big 4 accounting firms in New York. PricewaterhouseCoopers, Ernst & Young, KPMG, and Deloitte annually recruit to us, and we do send over 100 students to them every year. So really fantastic opportunities that happen within our School of Management. Next, in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see we have the Thomas J. Watson College of Engineering and Applied Sciences, where we have 5 different engineering majors. We have biomedical, mechanical, industrial and systems, computer, and electrical engineering. And then we also have computer science as a separate program that does fall within the Watson College. How engineering specifically works, computer science is direct entry, but how engineering works is that you all come in as an undecided engineering student, and then you all go through what we call the engineering design division. It is the same cluster of classes that all of our first-year engineering students do take. And then you don't actually declare your engineering major until the end of your first year. That way you get a kind of a sample of all of our different engineering fields, and you really know which one you want to pursue by the end of that first year. And then you focus in on that specific major from that point on. And then during your senior year is when you get to do a really cool senior project. A few of my friends who graduated recently, one of them built a go-kart, one of them built a 3D printed hand, and one of them built a dashboard for a nuclear facility. They now work at Lockheed Martin, IBM, and that same nuclear facility that he built the dashboard for. So really fantastic connections with Watson. If you didn't know, the Thomas J. Watson College is actually named after Thomas J. Watson, if you couldn't tell. But Thomas J. Watson is actually the founder of IBM, because if you didn't know, IBM was actually founded right here in Binghamton. So we decided to honor him and name the Watson College after him. And lastly, we do have our School of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences. This is a newer school, just opened a few years ago, but this is a graduate level program. So you can come and get your PharmD right on our campus. It was actually just announced that this over the summer that if a student does apply pre-pharmacy here at Binghamton, then you'll be guaranteed acceptance into our pharmacy program when the time comes to transition, as long as you meet the academic requirements. So it's an amazing program. You can finish as little as 6 years through our early assurance program, and really great opportunity to kind of expand into pharmacy here at Binghamton. So like I said, over 130 different majors and programs here broken up into the 6 different schools of study. And of course, we certainly love to talk about our faculty here at Binghamton. We have some of the best faculty around in the world here at Binghamton. I know one of my favorite professors is Dr. Seth Spain. He was one of my leadership professors during my graduate year, and he studied how dark personality traits can lead to success. And what that means is, he was one of those professors that really, when he talked about his research, he wasn't really one to stop. And at times, we weren't really able to understand what he was saying or anything like that. So able to relate it back to us. He related it back to different pop culture icons that we know and love, like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons or Walter White from Breaking Bad. These different types of characters to kind of get us to understand what exactly he was referring to. And some of our professors, they really do tailor their curriculum based on the cohort of students that they have. I think it's super unique to Binghamton that professors will actually do that. I took a class one semester with one professor, and my best friend took that same class that very next semester with the same professor, and it was almost entirely different because they had changed their curriculum and teaching style based on the cohort of students that they had, because no two classes are exactly the same, and that each class of students is going to certainly learn different. So it's really, really nice aspect that our professors do. One super awesome professor that we have on our campus, if you look on the right-hand side of your screen, is Dr. Stanley Whittingham. And what's really nice and awesome about Stan is that he is actually Binghamton's first Nobel Prize winning professor. He's been on campus for around 30 years, and he did win the Nobel Prize in chemistry last October. He is actually credited with inventing the lithium-ion battery. So without him, all of this virtual stuff that we're able to do nowadays certainly wouldn't be able to happen. So we are incredibly grateful to have him on our campus. He does have his own laboratory on our campus as well, and he does work with our first-year students.
My name is Abdul Khalil. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I'm a double major in Arabic Studies and Mechanical Engineering, but today I'll be talking about Mechanical Engineering in 60 seconds. I chose this major because originally I wanted to build an Iron Man suit, but as a child, I was always interested in trains and infrastructure, so I thought, why not go ahead and major in something that incorporates both. My favorite class so far has been solid mechanics, or strength of materials, because it incorporates everything from structures to applied loads and how these forces basically act on different materials. I'm the secretary for the National Society of Black Engineers, and we are a professional club seeking to help build professionalism within our fellow engineering students. The most surprising thing to me about this major is how in depth it goes, from how forces act on something inside, like you can't even see the forces, to forces acting outside. In 5 to 10 years, I see myself as an engineer owning a firm back home in Sudan, because I hope to help the nation with its infrastructure problems, and from there go on to assist the rest of the world. My name is Abdul Khalil, and this has been Mechanical Engineering in 60 seconds. Signing off.
So that's just one example of our many, many different majors that we do have on our campus. Like I said, we can certainly help you get anywhere you want to go. So right before that video, I did mention that our Professor Whittingham does work with first-year students. And I think my Zoom might have froze.
We can still hear you, Doug. Feel free to continue.
I will certainly try. It doesn't look like my Zoom is responding. Can you still hear me?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I will try to keep going. All right, I am back.
You're welcome back.
I do apologize about that. Should hopefully kick me out in a second. It's not the first time that has happened, unfortunately. So I will go ahead and try to get back into the PowerPoint here. If you just give me 1 second. Sometimes with these files, they're so big that they crash my computer. All right, can you still hear me okay?
You're good.
All right, thanks so much. I do apologize for that for anyone who is viewing or will view later. So as I was saying, speaking of Stan and working with our first year research immersion program, so he works with our first year students in our first year research immersion program. We are an R1 research institution here, so we certainly want to highlight the fact that we have so many great research opportunities available for our students. One being the first year research immersion program. It is actually only one of 4 programs in the entire country that does allow students to start doing research right from your first semester on our campus. It's a 3-semester program. First semester, you're more focused on research methods and how to conduct research at a college level. Second 2 semesters, you are more focused on, in your specific stream. There's about a dozen different streams that you can choose from. Working with stem cells, cancer cells, drones, anything like that. You graduate from that program, and you're free to conduct your own research or latch on to a professor or anything like that. We've had several students come into this program with 0 experience in research that have actually ended up being published by the end of their first year. So just a really amazing opportunity with our first year research immersion program. That's geared more towards the physical sciences and the engineering fields. So just a few years ago, we created what we call the SOURCE project. And very similar program. It's 2 semesters with 6 streams, but just geared more towards the social sciences and the humanities. So certainly want to expand it to include as many different students from as many different backgrounds as we possibly can. In the bottom 2 tabs, you can see our scholars programs. So we have our PwC Scholars, which is solely for our School of Management, while we have the Binghamton University Scholars, which is for everyone else on campus. Essentially, they are reserved for the top 1 to 3% of the incoming class. And basically, it's automatic consideration. There's nothing extra that you have to do, no applications, no deadlines, nothing like that. As long as you send in a regular application, we will certainly review you for our Scholars program. A few perks with it: there's priority registration, there's certain scholars housing that you can live in. There's an opportunity for a $3,500 grant that you can obtain. There's special excursion and networking opportunities for you. So there's certainly plenty of opportunities with that as well. And before I continue, I'm just going to stop sharing for a quick second, only because I'm pretty sure when I started sharing again, I didn't click the share computer sound, which will be necessary. So now it should all be fixed again. So again, just a little overview of our special programs that we do have here. And of course, we certainly love to talk about the Binghamton Impact and how we can impact your education and career here at Binghamton. So we already talked extensively about our research. We do have a plethora of opportunities, whether you're in those programs or not. We do have our own undergraduate research center where you can go and talk to some research advisors about the different types of research going on around campus and how you can go about participating in it. We have amazing internship and full-time job opportunities. So being a Binghamton University student, you have access to our Fleischman Center for Career and Professional Development. They are there for all of your internship and post-graduation needs, whether it be resume critiques, cover letter critiques, mock interviews, etiquette dinners, anything like that are certainly available for our students. Dr. Kelly Smith, she's a really good friend of mine. She's our director. She will do anything and everything in her power in order to help you land an internship or a full-time job. The Fleischman Center is an award-winning career services center. They were awarded the Exemplary Career Center Award, which is one of the top awards that they give out for career services centers. In the bottom left-hand corner, you can see that we do have amazing service learning opportunities here at Binghamton. So if you're interested in giving back to the local community, whether it be through the classroom or through different organizations that we have on our campus, there's certainly ways to get involved in the local community. And of course, our study abroad options. Since we're part of the SUNY system, you're not only getting access to our study abroad programs, you're getting access to every single one in the SUNY system. So that is actually over 1,000 different programs available to you. I know someone who studied in Copenhagen through SUNY Albany. I know someone who studied in Ghana through SUNY Brockport. So certainly lots of opportunities available with that. And no matter where you go in the world, you're always paying SUNY tuition. So regardless of where or how long, your tuition rate is always going to be locked in. Where it's going to vary is certainly going to be your living and your travel expenses. But in terms of tuition, I certainly love to point out that that is a possibility that is going to be locked in as well.
So a group of friends, me, my friend Aisha, Acadia, and Liarda, were in contact with this doctor, Dr. Jigisha Chaudhry, and she does a lot of charity work in this region in India called Gujarat, and she has started her own organizations, and she offered us to come on this trip and basically tour all of the orphanages, schools, hospitals, pediatric clinics, and we really got a feel for healthcare in India.
Wave, guys. Wave.
It was so much more hands-on than I ever expected. For example, we volunteered at a child neurodevelopment center, and after shadowing the therapist there, we presented on US treatments for ADHD and speech disorders to the faculty, and they were very receptive. They loved everything we said, and I think it may have made an influence in their daily practice. Coming into the trip, I didn't really have a goal, but I think once I was on the trip, I realized what I was there for. I'm really interested in global health and these big initiatives to basically increase awareness for problems in third world countries that involve medical issues. So being on the trip really opened my eyes to so many of the issues in India that have simple solutions that we can provide. And I realized that there's so much more that I can do, and there's so much potential for me to make a huge impact rather than just practicing medicine. So that's why I'm interested in working with a nonprofit after I graduate.
And that's just one really awesome experience that we have with studying abroad. Of course, like I said, you do have over 1,000 different programs with studying abroad, and it's very popular amongst Binghamton students. About 1 in 3 of our students will go on study abroad. And of course, we certainly love to talk about our alum and where exactly Binghamton can send you. So as I mentioned, we do have over 1,800 companies that do come and recruit to Binghamton on an annual basis. You see a handful of those below: Disney, Google, Coke, Apple, Microsoft, Samsung, Bloomberg, UHS, anything like that. We have so many great opportunities for our students to explore, whether it be internships or full-time jobs, but we certainly love to mention our alumni. We do have over 145,000 active living alum, 2/3 of which actually live and work in the New York City and Philadelphia metro areas. So since we're so close, they certainly love to come back and help out our students as much as they possibly can, whether it be doing events, giving advice, and especially recruiting for their companies. You can see a handful of alum listed on your screen, from Sunny Hostin, who's on The View, to Stephen Canals, who is co-creator of Pose, as well as a few other folks as well. These are just a small handful of our alum, and we've certainly got them all over from the U.S. House of Representatives to the Golden State Warriors, to the New York Yankees, to everywhere you could possibly imagine. And of course, you're not just confined to the classroom. You do have, all of the amazing student life opportunities available here at Binghamton. We do have over 450 student-run groups and organizations, ranging from performance to professional to volunteer to almost anything that you can think of. I myself was part of a student-run theater company. I was part of Hulk Government. I was part of our Binghamton University Glee Club. So certainly lots of options available to you. And no matter, say you're doing it now and you want to take it with you, it's certainly possible to do that. If we don't have it, all you need to do is get a few signatures, go to our student association, who they themselves are student run. They're elected officials, and they have a multi-million-dollar budget that they handle, where they host their own events as well as divvy it up to the different student groups. You go to them and you can become a chartered organization. So really amazing opportunities to join some amazing groups on our campus. We are Division I. We do have 21 Division I sports, ranging from baseball, basketball, softball, lacrosse, soccer, everything like that. And it is free to attend any one of our games. All you need to do is present your student ID, and you can get into any one of our games totally for free. So I certainly love to highlight that. I personally enjoyed definitely going to a lot of our basketball games when I was a student. It's a lot of fun to be a part of the BU Zoo student cheering section and to go on to cheer on the Bearcats. And we do have 41 club and intramural sports. So if you want to participate in sports, but maybe not at the Division I level, we do have that available. Club sports are competitive, not necessarily as competitive as Division I. But you do get to go and travel and compete against other club teams, while your intramural sports are run strictly on our campus, run through our campus rec services. And of course, we have different, we have fraternities and sororities. About 15% of campus participates in that. So there's certainly lots to do outside of the classroom. We want to make sure that, you don't want to be that person who spends 24/7 in the library. I know them. They're no fun. You can go out and explore, especially with our student life.
Hey, didn't see you there. We're the food co-op.
We're the BU Pep Band, the Screaming Green,
Live Action Role Playing Club.
We're Pause and Effect.
I'm here with BU Bees.
We're the Binghamton Cake Line.
Harper's Ferry. We're the on-campus ambulance service.
Hi, we're the Binghamton Rowing Team. We're the Women's Student Union.
So there are certainly lots of different groups and organizations to get involved in here at Binghamton. So this is one of my favorite slides of the presentation because it just shows some of the many faces that you can see walking around our campus. Binghamton, being a public institution, is incredibly focused on access and delivering the highest quality of education to as many different students from as many different backgrounds as we possibly can. That's why we have an incredibly diverse student body. We have a great geographic diversity. We have all 50 states as well as over 100 different countries represented here. We have great socioeconomic, political, cultural, ethnic backgrounds all represented here at Binghamton. It certainly is a wonderful place that many students do feel like it is a true home to them. I certainly felt at home there here at Binghamton. And I still do, hence why I still work here, right? So it is an incredible atmosphere, and we do have lots of different departments and organizations on our campus to make sure that students feel like home and make that transition to college as easy as possible. Whether it be our Division of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, we have our MRC, LGBTQ Center, SSD office, tutoring. We do have free tutoring for all of our students and all of our undergrads. If you need help with any subject, we certainly have it. The Center for Civic Engagement is the organization where if you want to give back to the local community, they can certainly help you out with that, as well as our ISSS office, as well as our transfer student services. As I mentioned, we are about a third transfer here, so we want to make sure that they're welcomed here as well. So something that's really awesome about Binghamton, I think, is that we've actually been ranked as one of the top 25 healthiest colleges in the country. A couple different reasons why, as you can see here. We are a tobacco and smoke-free university. It was an initiative that started a few years ago by our president, very close to his heart, and it's been incredibly successful ever since. We have our university counseling centers. We have our intramural and club sports, as I mentioned. We have our outdoor pursuits. So if you want to go rent a kayak or a mountain bike, you can certainly go do that here. We have great dietary services. So if you have any dietary restrictions, if you're kosher, if you're gluten-free, vegan, vegetarian, anything like that, there's certainly those opportunities for you as well. We will make those accommodations. Our fit space, which is our gym, as well as our BU Acres Farm, which is a farm that does sit directly on our campus, where students can actually go, volunteer, harvest the crops, and we'll either donate them or sell them back to the dining hall. So we do have a little bit of a farm to table atmosphere here at Binghamton as well. Certainly love to highlight that because I personally loved it when I was a student. And of course, one of the big questions that we certainly always get, and one that you certainly should be asking, is where am I going to live, right? So here at Binghamton, we have a pretty unique style of living. In regards to that, we don't have residential halls kind of scattered around campus. We have these things called residential communities. It's about 4 to 5 different residential halls clustered together to form a community. Each one has their own personality, traditions, collegiate professor, government system, dining hall. It's like its own little village. And it's really nice because this is what I was talking about, that it gives you that small school feel on a larger university campus. You get to know everyone within your community, and then you leave, and then there's a whole new world of people that you can meet. There are 5 different communities that you can live in during your first year. We have our Hinman College, Mountain View College, College in the Woods, Dickinson Community, and Newing College. And the best part about it is that as an incoming student, you actually have the full opportunity to choose exactly where you want to live. Not only which community, but all the way down to which building, which room, and even which bed that you get to sleep in. So full opportunity to kind of explore where you might fit best. Maybe you like one type of living style the most. We do have suite style, corridor style, and flat style. Suite style, which is 2 to 3 bedrooms with 2 people to each, so 4 to 6 people with a shared living room and bathroom, or 2 depending on the community. Corridor style is your traditional 2 people to a bed, 2 people to a bedroom with a shared floor, shower room, and bathroom, and everything like that. Well, flat style is a little different. It's 3 to 4 bedrooms with 4 to 6 people in it, with 2 bathrooms on either end, and a little vestibule. It's not as big as a common area you'd see in a suite, but it also does have a small kitchen area. So there's a couple different options. Some are newer, some are older, bigger, smaller, but I promise you, you do certainly love to where you live. I lived in our Hinman College for my 2 years on campus, and I absolutely loved it. It's our oldest one, but it's also our smallest one. So I really got to know everyone in the community. So it's a really amazing atmosphere. A lot of people do compare it to the Hogwarts houses within Harry Potter. And it's a great way to go out. And, like I said, you do have that full opportunity to figure out which one works best for you.
I'm Al Voss. I'm an English professor. And then I became the collegiate professor of Hinman College and the organizer of the public service learning community within Hinman. It's important for students to connect their learning in the classroom to the community outside the classroom. And by the community outside the classroom, I'm also thinking about outside campus, the greater Binghamton community, which has lots of organizations where students can learn about civic action, civic engagement, career choices, and the kind of needs that exist out there in society.
I joined the public service learning community when I was signing up for housings for the year. I didn't know what it was about. When I saw the word service, I was really intrigued and I really wanted to know what that community entailed. This community has completely changed my life. I initially came in as a business major and now I'm adding a major of human development because it really studies the change and the challenges faced by humans throughout their lifetime, and I'm really interested in doing that. It feels incredible to donate my time to helping other people, knowing that even if I spend 15 or 20 minutes, it's really impactful to their lives.
So a really great example of the different learning communities that we do have on our campus. Like I said, that was a little bit of Hinman, which I absolutely enjoyed as a student. But of course, you're not just confined to campus. You do have the greater Binghamton community available to you. Downtown Binghamton is only around 10 minutes away. It's free to get to. We do have 2 bus systems that run through our campus, our student-run bus company, as well as our county buses, and both are free for students to use with your student ID. Downtown Binghamton, like I said, is around 10 minutes away. We're a smaller city, we're about 45,000 people, but we have everything that a city has. We have theaters, we have art galleries, we have museums, we have 2 professional sports teams. We do have the minor league hockey affiliate of the New Jersey Devils, as well as the minor league baseball team of the New York Mets. Excuse me. We have a bustling restaurant scene. We've opened around 7 different restaurants in the last year alone. It's a really amazing community that we do have here. We have some skiing and snowboarding mountains in the area if you're interested, as well as a really amazing arts festival that happens at the first weekend of September. It's an event called Luma, and you can see it there on the top row, second in from the left. Picture looks like a serpent. Basically what it is, it was started by a few alum, and what they do is that they bring in artists from around the world to study the facades of buildings around town, and they do a projection mapping light show based on the architecture of those buildings. It's one of the only types of light shows like this in the entire world, and it actually brings over 65,000 people to downtown Binghamton. It's absolutely incredible. It's so immersive that you totally forget that you're standing outside watching the side of a building. They even did 3D ones one year where they would hand out 3D glasses, and it's just absolutely incredible. It's free, and it's a great way that really connects the local community and the students. Also, really fun fact, if you didn't know about Binghamton, is that we are actually considered the carousel capital of the world. We actually have 8 different carousels in the local area that were built all the way back into the 1920s when a company called Endicott Johnson was big in this area, and the owners of Endicott Johnson built these for their workers and their families, and they're free to ride, and it's a really great way to go check out all the places in the area, and it's a great bucket list thing for our students to participate in. And of course, a big question that we certainly always get, and one that you certainly should be asking, is cost of attendance. And certainly we do that here at Binghamton with our value. We are very well known for our value here. You can see for your in-state and out-of-state, in-state is around 26, but your out-of-state is around 44, which is pretty comparable to a lot of public institutions around the country and already a fraction of your privates. There are plenty of privates that actually cost well upwards of double than that. Binghamton has actually been ranked number 7th public institution in the country for its out-of-state student value. So I certainly have to highlight that. We were actually ranked number 15th at one point in time for best value between public and private. We were actually ranked one right behind Princeton. A couple different reasons why. One, we've been called a public Ivy, a premier public university in the Northeast. These different types of accolades, because you can come and get an Ivy League quality education here at Binghamton. Our students, like I said, graduate in 4 years. Our 4-year graduation rate is around 71%, which, like I said, is over 30 points higher than the national average. Students will graduate with little to no debt. You can see here that it's already comparatively a little bit more affordable, but not even that. Scholarships are actually all reserved for merit. Merit scholarships are reserved for all out-of-state students. It's automatic consideration. There's nothing extra that you have to do, and it's up to $13,500 a year. So certainly love to highlight that all merit scholarships are reserved for out-of-state students. And also that a Binghamton University student's average starting salary is over $5,000 higher than the national average. So just tying all that back in. Ivy League quality education in 4 years with little to no debt, and then also graduating with a higher average starting salary than the national average is why we have such a high value ranking here at Binghamton. And of course, we certainly love for you to apply here at Binghamton. We do have early action here, early action being the non-binding decision, meaning that if you get accepted, it's not like you have to come to Binghamton. The deadline for that is November 1st, and we'll get you a decision by January 15th. The regular consideration deadline is January 15th, and we'll get you a decision by April 1st. We do accept either the common application, the coalition application, or the SUNY application. Either one of those three is totally fine with us. And I would like to mention that we are test optional through the spring of 2022. So really that does include this, really stands for the seniors at this point. That is as far as SUNY has allowed us to go. But if you are a senior looking to apply, we are test optional. So it will not detriment your application whatsoever if you decide not to send those in. And of course, I can certainly list all the accolades under the sun at you. You know, number 31 best college public in the nation, top 10 Best Buy, the retention rate again, number 2 among public schools in the Northeast for student outcomes. I can throw them all at you. But really, when it comes down to it, Binghamton is a home. It's a home for all of our students. It's a home for me. It has been now for 8 years, if you include my time as a student. And I've absolutely loved it and wouldn't change a single thing. We want to make sure that you feel at home here at Binghamton, and we want to make sure that you feel that fit and feel like you can succeed here. And we want to be able to propel you to a successful career and successful life after you spent time with us. And, you know, there are certainly plenty of success stories and accolades that I mentioned, but it all boils down to that and making sure that it feels like home to you. So with that, that does kind of wrap up the presentation. Don't see any Q&A, so I think we can about wrap it up. So we're about 3 minutes anyway. So again, my name is Douglas Harrington. I am the Pennsylvania recruiter. You can always please feel free to reach out to me directly. You can reach me at dharring@binghamton.edu, and I'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. So thanks so much for watching, and I do hope you enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you, Doug, for a great presentation. And I will close us out just to say thank you for joining us. To all of you, when you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. Also, this was just one of many sessions being hosted, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions at pacac.org. In about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all the other session recordings at pacac.org. Thank you and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you so much.